everything you can think of, right? All right, so we're going to bring in the flip chart now, because I was just this really, I just kind of received this picture, if you will, if you're understanding, in the shower this morning, actually, and I thought it was really good. So I put it together. I drew the map already, just so we have it here. Okay, so some of you, you'll have seen different things like this from me already. This is you, of course, your I am, or your soul, your spirit. This is your internal world, so that would be your thoughts, right? And this is your external world, which is going to be your five senses. Now, the internal world is the cause, and the external world is the effect. Now, here's one of the things that I find with the normals, the normals, right? They have that relationship exactly backwards. They say that by external experience, hey, Luxner, how you doing? Is Gandalf teaching us to cast a spell? Thank you for bringing up Gandalf. I haven't had that one for a while, but I did a lot when the Lord of the Rings was all around, so that's cool. um, and so the normals, they say, well, my external world basically defines who I am, right? But really, that mechanical process is our internal world creates the external. Okay, so, and that's a topic for another conversation. But cause and effect. The bigger thing is this here, which I've labeled BS, try not to have that connotation. So I call it a belief system, right? Now, and then we have the creative flow, which goes this way. And then we have the flow where we're observing this through this that goes that way. Now, this process is happening all the time, but just as Smellentine mentioned, our belief systems, which sit in our unconsciousness, often this isn't happening, often this is happening. So this belief system here is actually ending up reading the information, using the rules that has been created, and then uses that to reflect back out. So what's interesting is a big chunk of our day, this isn't happening, this is happening. Now, if that belief system is one that suits, hey Phoenix, how you doing? I think therefore I am, for sure, right? If that belief system is one that suits us, then that's great. But when we're expanding and growing, and hey Jessica, how you? I'm going to go Jessica CA. I think it's just CA, but anyway. So if we're growing, expanding, and evolving, we're wanting to change that belief. Hey KJ Steele, how you doing? Long time. Yes, it's been a while. Great to see you. And I'm going to kind of throw the pitch in here again, right? So if you want to continue the communications, because sometimes, our availability is out of whack, you can head over here, join the Slack, join our community on Slack, and then you can kind of check in when you can, and it keeps a lot better continuity for everybody as well. So because we want to grow, expand, and evolve, we want to change that existing belief system to a new one, right? So that here we are. This is the existing one, and we actually want to change it. Let's try this. Change it to a new one, right? So we want to take this one and basically delete it, for lack of a better term, and replace it with this one. Now, here's the thing, because I'm going to use a different color here. Let's do this. Because this has been going on for so long with this guy, right? You're going to have a challenge to do this, right? Or again, to do this, because this is very powerful, right? It's almost like it has a survival instinct, and it wants to. This directly relates to what happens when I'm in my family house for the holiday. I tell you, I haven't had it for a while now, but the number of people that would come for me to a Reiki treatment just before Christmas because they were going to see family or in-laws family or whatever family, and they go, I need a treatment before I go, right? So that's kind of crazy. But anyway, so beautiful people. Hey, thanks for stopping in. Artiste Mingue. I probably screwed that up. My apologies. And so that existing belief system has like a survival instinct, or a habit, if you want to look at it that way. I like survival instinct because that's very much, it's almost like it's sentient, right? So when you think about it, when we're introducing this one gets kind of freaked out, right? And so what we're doing is we need to somehow interrupt this and start to institute this. Now, what I heard this morning was that whenever we're observing, whenever we're observing something out here, it is going to trigger one of these two belief systems. So if I'm going to use a real simple one, because it's really easy to manage, when we're looking at money out here, right? So this is what's happening, right? This belief system is manifesting a certain amount of money, whether it's enough or not enough or whatever, right? And whenever you observe this, you're validating or strengthening this. Now, you may want to do it this way, but what you'll find, especially in the beginning, is if this is what you're observing, it's going to end up activating this one because this is the one that's been there for so long, and it's going to want to hold on. And when you think about it, as you're doing this one, it doesn't have a lot of momentum yet. So whenever you view this, even though you want to view it this way, it's not. It's going to go to here. So what's the teaching? When you are changing that belief system, as much as you can, there's some value in not, or at least as much as you can, not checking this all the time. Because whenever you focus on this, you're going to activate this one. Okay? But here's the thing, if you don't focus, and I realize I'm not saying you completely ignore it, but if you cannot focus on it all the time, you're not kind of adding more momentum to that existing belief system, because that's the one that's going to be initiated. Even though you want to change it, you want to do this new perspective, you want to manifest this new way of living, whenever you look at that, it's going to trigger one or the other. And because the old one has so much momentum, as soon as you look, it's just going to validate that, validate that, validate that. So sometimes, if at all possible, if you can not, check your bank account every day and not think about money every day, all day long. Now, again, I realize you can't ignore it completely, but if you can kind of not look at it or not focus on it, whatever it is, right? Let's say you want to release some pounds or get in better shape or stuff like that. Well, maybe don't look in the mirror quite so often, right? Because when you're observing that, when you're focusing on that, you're going to trigger, if you will, one of those two belief systems. So in the beginning, because we want to do our best to get this guy have some momentum, right? We want to try and give as much momentum as we can. Here's what I want you to do. You're not going to focus on money here. You're going to focus on money here. This is step 2 in the manifesting process. For those of you who've downloaded the Manifesting Home Study Guide, is that step 1 is creating your perfect desire. That would be the picture moving in your mind. Step 2 is living that desire on the inside. So this is step 2. So rather than focusing on, I realize I'm kind of just making a mess out of this. Rather than focusing on this so much, what I want you to do is that picture or movie in your mind, I want you to do your best to focus on it like that. Because what that's going to do is you're going to help add momentum to the new one, add momentum to the new one, add momentum to the new one, without looking at the external, which is going to trigger the old one. And so as much as you can, don't focus on that outcome that you don't want to see anymore. What I want you to do is focus on that picture or movie in your mind of the outcome you would like to see. Because whenever you focus on that outcome, it's going to trigger a belief system. And in this case here, it's going to trigger the old one because that one has so much more momentum than the new one. So there you go. He's right. I made a huge mistake. I knew 5 years ago what I needed to do other than need to create. For